Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of the 21-22 JWILLY Show. I am so excited to be here, Jay. Of course, the other guy in this picture on your video screen is Coach Jason Williford, also known as JWILLY, and I am your host, Mark Jerome. Jay, welcome.
It's good to be back, Mark. It's been too long.
It's been a long time.
And most of that is my fault. I do apologize.
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay. All right.
I would disagree with that. We haven't, this is perfect timing. We're on the eve of college basketball, on the eve of UVA's first game. This is the perfect time for this. Otherwise, it might get a little boring. Right? There's so much to talk about tonight.
Well, I'm ready. You just lead the way.
All right, before we get into UVA basketball, I want a family update. I want to hear about the kids. I know you have a freshman in high school.
I do.
Who is a big time player, and I know you're humble about it.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, you haven't bragged to me about it. And I was on the phone with Coach O last week.
Yeah.
Who hit me up, and we just had such a good conversation. He didn't say anything about JWILLY's kids. JWILLY's talking trash. They were talking about how good his kid is. You fit the UVA system.
But I'll never do that because I gotta keep them grounded. I gotta keep them working. But I do. My oldest just finished varsity football as a ninth grader, believe it or not. He played receiver and DB, but unfortunately he broke his ring finger on his right hand with about 3 games left in the year. So he's in a cast, but he'll be fine for basketball season. I told him he's got to do everything now left-handed. So he's dribbling left hand, finishing left hand. I told the coach, run sprints, just run him to death so he's in shape once he gets out of the cast. But I was a little nervous with him doing football. I told the coach, keep him on offense. Don't go across the middle. We don't want to play any defense. First game of the year, the boy doesn't come out of the game, the entire game. I'm like, what in the world? He played offense, defense, special team, his kick return. I'm like, they're trying to kill my boy.
Well, wait a minute. Sounds like you have a great relationship with the coach and he's got a lot of respect for you.
I thought, so the coach says, I had no choice. He's a pretty good athlete. So I trusted the coach. He wasn't going to get, and Austin's a decent sized kid. But my fear was those upperclassmen, the 11th and 12th graders, those guys really putting the shellacking on him. But he had a good year.
Size. How big is he now?
He's about 6'3", about 165, soaking wet. So he got decent size. But I was so nervous that first game. I was like, oh don't send my boy across the middle. But he enjoyed it, Mark. He wants to do it again next year. He said, give me 2 years of football and then let me figure out what I want to do. So I'll give him that. Football's in our genes. Papa played, my father played.
What level?
He played Division II, and he was a free agent with the Falcons.
Wow.
So he did football. I played a little bit. And then Cam, we all know about Cam and in the schooling during the pandemic. Cam is also doing football. He did middle school football. And Cam's actually pretty good at football. He is a running back and safety. And he's probably averaging about 4 touchdowns a game as a running back. He's pretty good. And he's playing running back and a little bit of quarterback. So I enjoy watching those guys play football.
You might have some upset Virginia basketball fans who might be watching the show or will be watching the show at some point if the boys decide to play football, but maybe who knows? If they go that route, maybe they play football at UVA.
Well, that's we'll see. If they can make it to that level, that's a good thing. I don't want to pay for college, so that's a good thing.
I get it. I get it. And I have 2 down so far.
There you go.
Where I haven't been able to do that. And it's very healthy. It's allowed me to not be evicted from my apartment. So I'm very happy.
Makes a world of difference. But no, they're off to good starts in school. And then football wise, they both have had good years doing football. And so now it's basketball season. We're getting ready for that.
I gave you a little advice about football last year.
What was that?
And I love it. I love football, but I remember getting hit one time. And I was like, I'm not going across the middle anymore.
Well, that was my biggest fear. Like, I don't mind him catching outs and fly patterns and fades in the end zone. Don't send my boy across the middle.
And one time I got a hip pointer and I couldn't play the first basketball for the first month. I was out of practice. My advice to you last year, and I love football. I love playing it. I love watching it. My advice to you was don't let your boys play, especially because they have such good basketball careers ahead of them.
Well, it's
too dangerous. I like it.
We're trying to. You see what I got on, man? It's in the gene. It's football is in me. So at this rate, I'm just gonna let them see if they like it, and we'll figure it out. But then my wife has been great. She's working from home still, and she is holding down the fort. She's the backbone of the family, so she's doing well.
Please say hello to Kwamina for me.
We'll do.
And good luck with the boys. I prefer them playing basketball. And where is Austin going to school?
He's at Stab. He goes to Stab.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So is he under Damon yet?
Yeah. So today was their first official tryouts today and tomorrow, and then practice after tryouts.
Okay, I'm gonna get the lowdown from Dame, who already told me how good he was. And my Kobe told me how good he was too last year. As an 8th grader, we still have that. We showed that highlight of his windmill last year, which was awesome.
We still got work to do. And my fear is though he may not get much taller, so he's going to have to learn and be a point guard. Now, if he gets to 6'7", he can play on the wing and do whatever. That's his ultimate goal. He wants to be taller than Dad and be 6'7". So I told him he better drink a lot of milk and get plenty of sleep.
That's great advice. Thank you, Dr. Williford. All right, real quickly, we're going to talk about your Steelers. And we still got to get Joe Guy on to talk about his Bengals. The Bengals crushed me the last couple of weeks.
He does not want to come on and talk about the Bengals, not after the last 2 weeks.
No, he doesn't. And I was I have season tickets to the Jets game.
Oh, wow.
And I'm there. So you know what knockout pools are, right? Where you pick your team in survivor pools, basically. And every week you got to pick a team to win and not lose, right? Whoever loses that week gets knocked out of the pool.
Okay.
And they're done.
So the Bengals are done?
I'm done because I picked the Bengals. There were like 200 people in the pool.
Everyone probably picked the Bengals. There's no way they should have lost to the Jets.
A lot of people. I know. And I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to be loudly rooting for the Bengals in the Giant Stadium where the Jets play.
Yeah, Joe does not want to come on right now. I will let him have it.
I will too, because he got me knocked out of my pool. Yeah.
And we got 3 straight. We got a big one tonight. We control our destiny. This is what the Steelers do to me. They start off bad. I write them off for the year. Then they win 3 straight and they suck me right back in. And now I'm in my Palomalu jersey. I'm ready for the game tonight. I'm sitting in my grandfather's chair. This is my mom's dad's rocking chair. I got this from Pittsburgh when he passed. So I'm trying to get good vibes for the game tonight.
Do you know how many Super Bowls the Steelers have won?
6.
Don't be too spoiled.
6.
When's the last one?
The last Super Bowl was, I think, the Cardinals. We beat Phoenix Cardinals.
How many teams have won 5 or 6 Super Bowls?
Hey, listen, I'm greedy. I just don't like when Brady keeps winning. I'm greedy. I'm greedy. He's got more than we do as by himself.
Well, he's the all-time greatest quarterback.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. I'll give him that. I don't like when he wins, but he is the GOAT.
And I'm not a huge Brady fan, but I respect like his craft and his work ethic. So I love that.
No, he's good. And he's
So we haven't.
knocked us out of the playoffs way too many times.
Yeah, well, you'll be back there at some point. Might not be in your lifetime, but I'm sure they'll be back there at some point. So, you know, TW, who is the brains of the operation of locker room access and hardest work, one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met. You know, there's no substitute for hard work, right? Hard work often leads to success.
Always.
No guarantees, but typically, all right. So once again, he has outdone himself. And you know what he did this year for us, Jay Wills? Got us a sponsor for the show.
Let's go.
Isn't that awesome?
What we got? You guys don't tell me any of this stuff. You just say jump on.
Reines Rogers Jewelry, where Charlottesville gets engaged.
There you go.
I like that. Reines and Rogers, sorry. Reines and Rogers Jewelry, where Charlottesville gets engaged. They are at 240 29th Place Court. Do you know them?
I don't, but
You're gonna have to stop by there and get something nice from Comina.
Yeah. We've got Christmas around the corner. And
That's right. That's right. So if she's watching this show, she's going to be expecting something nice with the Reines and Rogers jewelry box.
There you go.
Yep.
I'll have to pop in.
So
thank them.
Congrats to Locker Room Access, and thanks Reines and Rogers for supporting us.
Absolutely. Good job, T-Dub.
Yeah, awesome job. And the one thing we're missing tonight, who will be on next week, DJ YB.
There you go.
Who you can check out, still check out on Wednesday nights, I believe, on Twitch.
He's still doing.
Still doing his thing. Still doing his thing. All right, let's get to it.
All right, I'm ready. Enough of the catching up. Let's go.
Let's talk about the team. What do we have? What do we like? How are we going to replace 3 dudes that moved on that were big time players? You got to replace 3 NBA guys. How are you going to do that?
We got to replace a ton of shooting. I mean, they were great players, but God, they could shoot that basketball and stretch the floor with their ability to shoot. Going to be hard. We're a work in progress, Mark. That's what I've been saying every time I get interviewed. We're a work in progress. We've got Armand Franklin, who's a transfer, I think will help from a shooting standpoint. He can shoot the ball, space the floor. He'll be able to knock down shots.
Transfer from Indiana, correct?
Transfer from Indiana.
What did he shoot last year from 3 with Indiana? I think it was 40%.
Yeah, that I don't know that offhand. And then Jaden Gardner, the transfer from East Carolina. Both those transfers will be able to score the ball. Now, Jaden won't stretch the floor like Trey and Sam and Jay did, but we can throw it to him in the mid post at the elbows. He can score in the middle of the zone from about 15, 17 feet and in. He's pretty good. I think he can knock down feet set with room and rhythm, can knock down the 3, but that's not his strength. But Armand's ability to shoot the ball, stretch the floor, and then Jaden's ability to score, rebound, get to the free throw line, he's good. And they've shown that in the preseason. Kihei's much improved. He's put in a ton of work with his shot. He's getting it off quicker, shooting the 3. So we're going to need him to bang some shots. And then the rest is by committee. We'll hopefully Carson can throw some shots in. Reese Beekman's worked on his shot. He's just got to, Reese to me has got to just have the confidence and take them. Sometimes he turns down shots. We need him to, when they present themselves, to shoot them. There's nothing wrong with a shot. I mean, he's just got to trust that he's put the work in. I said McCorkle, Statman, obviously the 2 first-year guys, Tane and Igor. And then Big Poppy. I mean, we've only got 10. They're all going to have to at some point contribute and give us something. But to replace what we lost, is a lot. And like I said, we got to do it by committee. It all starts with our defense. Got to play defense. And then hopefully as the season progresses, Cade and Cedric, I forgot to mention him, but those guys all gain confidence and figure out where they can score and how to score.
I'm going to get to the defense in a moment. Who is the critical piece, do you think, of the team this year? We had a preseason show last week or 2 weeks ago when it was, and I felt like it was going to be Jaden. Like, you know what you're going to pretty much, you know what you're going to get from Kihei. You know Reese is going to play great defense. Will his shot be improved? We hope so. Like, Caden's going to be fairly strong rebounding, and hopefully he gives something. Franklin is going to probably shoot somewhere between 33 and 40% from three.
Yeah.
Jaden Garner is listed as 6'6".
Yeah.
How tall is he really 6'6" or 6'5"?
I give him, I mean, he's about my height. So yeah, about 6'5", 6'6", 6'5 and a half, 6'6".
Okay.
He would probably shoot me if he heard me saying he was 6'5". But he's a mound, round, a rebound. He's what Barkley used to be. I mean, he's got a big derriere. He's a strong kid, plays bigger than his size. And I tell people all the time, he's figured out, quite honestly, how to score and be effective at that size over bigger guys. He's got a knack for getting his shot off. He can get, like I said, he draws fouls. I think he's going to be. I think if we can get numbers wise what he did at East Carolina, and I'm not, if he can give us 15 a game, that's great. But if he can give us close to what he did. I don't know, he may have scored more than that at ECU. But if he can give us double figure scoring, 6 to 8 boards a game, that's all we can ask. And other guys have to step up. But to be honest, Mark, who that guy is, I think they all are gonna have to step up and play important roles at some point. Like Caden's gotta, Caden to me's gotta be opportunistic scoring, defend, rebound, block shots. Poppy's gotta do the same. And then we gotta get a guy to come in and bang some shots and stretch the floor a little bit between, be it Carson, be it Cody, be it Tane or Igor. Those guys are going to have to just be efficient when they get out there. Don't turn the ball over, play solid defense, and trust their strokes.
Yep. And I think we can both agree that the AAC, which is the conference East Carolina plays in, and the ACC are quite different. They don't have the Dukes, they don't have the Carolinas, they don't have the guys that any team in the AACC where the bigs are athletic and long.
Yeah,
right? Not necessarily playing against great 6'10", 6'11" guys.
It is different, Mark. But I listen. Houston was a beast in that league.
Yep.
Cincinnati has been good in that league. He went up against that. If I'm not mistaken, they played a couple ACC teams. Like the kid, and it's funny, and I'm glad we got him, but I remember watching him in high school playing AAU ball, saying, God, he's undersized, but he finds a way. I mean, his Garner Road Carolina team, they were good. And I mean, the kid, he did it against big time talent, size, athleticism. I think he's so excited to be playing in the ACC. He gets to fulfill a dream that he's ready, and he's going to take on all comers.
If he gets 13-7, I think you guys are successful.
I hope so. I'm praying he can do that.
Yeah, and hopefully he scores more than that. Or
13-7 for us, Marcus. That's doing it. That's pretty efficient.
Well, as long as you have other guys though too who are getting theirs, right? Because you guys could have in the past you guys have had 3 or 4 scorers.
Right.
who got double digits, which was great, right? But
And I think
we got to fill it.
somebody, I mean, we'll have to do. They'll step to the plate. I'm almost certain. Like I said, we got limited number. We got 10 this year, and they just got to keep working and keep grinding. I'm so looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the defense. Where does this team's defense stand compared to last year's at this time?
Whoo. We're working. I just named, so outside of Kihei and Reese, and then Cafaro got limited minutes, Shedrick limited minutes, Statman limited minutes, right? McCorkle limited minutes. Like limited minutes and new pieces, we're still working. 2 transfers, 2 first-year guys, and guys that are in all honesty, very inexperienced. So we're a work in progress, offensively, defensively. I don't think we're the same as last year at this time. You know, just because you had Kihei and you know, Thomas and Jay, and you had guys, Sam, even though it was his first year, you know, he sat out, he was in the system, you know, he was learning. So you had guys, and even, you know, even Marcel, who transferred out, and those guys, I mean, they kind of knew what it was like. So different than last year. But I'm loving the challenge going in every day. They're working their butts off. But I do like us at the point of attack with both Kihei and Reese. I mean, they can be pests on the ball, and I think it starts with them.
Before I ask my next question, it looks like we got a question from the audience from Lance Payton. Who does Jay Willie see making the biggest leap this year?
To be honest, I think early on it'll be Reese Beekman. I mean, I think Reese will he's playing with a different type of confidence, different. He just looks like he's been there, done that before, and he's been really good in practice and in the couple scrimmages that we've had. But I hope that one of the bigs steps up between Shedrick and Cafaro to just take a huge step forward, because I think we're going to need that. Like you said, in the ACC, you got, I mean, just that size. I mean, you take those 2 off the floor, we don't have a whole lot of size after that. So getting one of those guys to step up. But Reese Beekman, he's had the biggest leap thus far.
Thanks, Lance Payton out of Atlanta, Georgia, for asking that question. You know who Reese Beekman's biggest fan is?
No question. I absolutely. He's always tweeting, and every time I get a notification is fresh talking about Beekman. He's got a man crush.
Hey man, Reese! Exclamation! Exclamation! That's my guy. You told me early. I watch. You know, I watched this film from high school. I like the way he plays the whole thing. But you know, it's time for the fresh question of the match, right?
What's going on,
Fred? Thanks for taking my role there, Dougie.
My bad, buddy.
You know, when I called Dougie, I was like, Dougie, guess what? JWILLY Show's back. You would have thought I was taking a kid through the toy store.
Hey, you can watch
I get to ask my question.
Oprah. If you don't watch JWILLY, that's on you. That's your problem, not me. I get it.
Dougie, I just want to make this announcement before you start.
Yep.
This is a family show.
I get it.
Hey, what did we do before, Mark? When what did he get?
The bell.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, it's right next to me. I think he only got dinged twice on the preseason podcast. I think.
All right.
So we have an over/under. We have a
You gotta keep it clean. Let's go.
It's all clean. I have 25 questions. No big deal, Jay.
All right. I'm
My
ready.
first one.
Like you get a 1A and a 1B. You're limited.
I've been listening. You guys are talking about football, right? And your sons are playing football and basketball, football. Who would have been the best tight end? Yuri Barnes, Jaden Gardner, or Brian Stiff? But you gotta let Bryant scoot out. He can't be a tight end, right?
Yeah, he wasn't fast enough to play receiver.
Who?
Be still.
All right, wrong answer already. Go ahead.
I would say YB's hands weren't good enough.
He's not here tonight to defend himself.
I know it. YB's hands weren't good enough. Gardner's got the size. I need to see more of him. Stiff. Here's why I'm a little disappointed. I should be in that category for tight end because I could catch anything.
I was going to say you eliminated the 3 choices. So where are you going with this?
No, I will tell you, Jay Willie and Brian's hands were absurd. But you didn't have Brian's hands. Be nice. When's the last time you shook his hand?
B was bigger than me, but I'm just saying, if it's the 260 pound, 255 pound Jay Willie now,
right?
My hands are big time.
For sure.
But I'll go with Stiff as the best tight end.
Good. By the way, nailed it. It's always Brian Stiff. If I ever bring Brian Stiff into the question, it's Brian Stiff. You get it, Jay.
And if you don't, listen, Jay Wills, I'm glad you said that because you know how Dougie has a man crush on Reese?
Yeah.
Magnify that by 100,000, how he feels about B. Stitt.
Oh,
if your final answer wasn't B. Stitt, he wouldn't be sleeping for 3 days.
That's his boy, though. You got that. Look, that's his boy. B could do no wrong. He watched B bail him out a few games. Like B's like Superman.
Yep. Best player I ever saw on the basketball court in college. Me personally. All right, I have another one for you. Trickier. So you've been a UVA basketball coach for 12 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Who cares?
13.
13. Who is your all Chris Havlicek team? Meaning, not basketball, the funniest dudes you have coached who are legit funny, like Hav.
Legit funny.
I mean, do you agree Hav's the funniest dude we know?
He's hilarious.
Guys you coach, if you were able to enjoy it and,
But so fresh, the guys are like they outside of social media, they don't talk. They can't, you don't get them to do anything if they ain't tweeting or texting. I would say Jay Huff is the closest when it comes to
really.
Yeah.
But nobody else just comes in. Like, you remember Hav made every coach laugh, like grown men. So they're just not funny.
No, our guys are no. Hell, we can't even get them to talk half the time in practice. You talk about being funny.
All right, hold on. I got one more. All right, thank you. Now this is semi-serious. So, last year we do pregame, halftime, postgame, and we watch everything. I'm all in. I'm a who. Look, you can't tell. What I thought last year was there was a lack of, and it could be COVID. And I don't discount that, by the way. A lot of people do. I do not.
Yeah.
It's socialization, the whole thing. Who do you see emerging as the leaders of this team? Because I'm gonna preface that by saying it's not always easy for a guy to find his voice on a team. You were a guy from day one, a dude that like you had no filter, but all positive. No, in a good way. I don't mean in a bad way. But it's hardly, does Armand come in, Jalen come in? Do they have a voice in the team, or do they like?
Yeah,
Hey man,
Fresh, that's a great question, to be honest.
Oh, I know it is. Don't worry about that.
We've got some guys lead by just example, work ethic, what they do, and aren't as vocal. And I maintain that I think really good leaders, great leaders, have to be able to do both. And I think we're still searching, quite honestly. I don't think innately Kihei is a talker. He's a super competitive. I think we've got a quiet bunch, but you know, from a competitive standpoint, they all are laying it on the line. I would say, I think Reese and Caden and Jaden Gardner have to take a step in that direction for us, because I think naturally the three of them have that ability to do that. And so we've been challenging those guys to, quite honestly, do that. And Kihei, because he's got the most experience, you know, he's kind of been thrust into that, and he's having to work on that vocal part. But his work, you know, him putting the work in, and the guys watching his work ethic's not a problem at all. But really good leaders, you guys know it. I mean, they do both. Ty was that way, naturally. Devin Hall was that way. Ironically, London was very much a lot like Kihei. I mean, he worked his butt off, but London wasn't as vocal. One of the best IQ field minds we've ever had. But from a vocal, you know, holding guys accountable, getting after guys when you need to get, and you guys, you know it, Fresh. You got to get after dudes at times. It can't always be nice. When you need to put your foot up somebody's butt, you gotta hold them accountable, and that's what good leaders do. And so I like I tell you, we're a work in progress, and that leadership area is one of them. But I think someone in that group, Kihei, Reese, Caden, and Jaden Gardner, will emerge, if not all of them. And once they do, player-led teams are much better than coach-led teams. If the coach has to do everything, that's a problem. When players take ownership and they can lead, great things happen.
I love it. That's what I was thinking. We think about back to Brian Stiff. Brian didn't go after any of us. He just showed us what you got to do. You want to be good, work like me, right? Do you agree? So that's an interesting question for me, man. And you know, you're up in the thick of it. So appreciate it, boy.
We appreciate it, and we will
Thanks,
see.
Guys.
We'll see you tomorrow night on the pregame show, right? 8:30.
Can't wait. The midshipman.
It's a late start, huh?
9 o'clock.
Who are we playing? Air Force?
No, we got Navy.
He
I know,
knows.
I'm kidding. That was a joke, yeah.
With David Robinson, yeah.
Come on, man. I'm all in, boy.
All right, Dougie. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Say hi to
We're up 7-0, by the way. The Steelers are up. I got the score over here.
Fantastic. It's early. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, though. Hey, let's go back to last year for a second.
Yeah.
And obviously, of course, a disappointing loss. And anytime you lose in the tournament is disappointing, I'm sure. What was the mood in the locker room after the loss? How tough did guys take it? And then thinking about the following year, what were you guys thinking that needed to improve?
Yeah, it was hard. It was a tough pill to swallow. You know, when you got Sam in his only year playing, you know, it's it for Jay and Thomas, and we kind of knew where the Trey Murphy thing was headed as a staff. You know, you felt for those guys, and then, but quite honestly, you know, me, staff, having gone through what we went through as the 116, you kind of just fall back on that experience, and there's not a whole lot worse than that. So that wasn't the end of the world, you know, losing to Ohio U. We knew we had to get back to the drawing board. And the young guys, the returners, I remember Caden putting his arm around Reese saying, "We're gonna get back," you know, walking to the locker room. You know, he's talking to him and we'll be back. So you kind of just draw on experiences and you take whatever you can from that L and learn from it. And then from a recruiting standpoint, you go and recruit guys that you think can help fill voids. And obviously we had a couple kids leave, and we were able to jump in the portal and get 2 good pieces. So, you know, we knew what we had coming back, and we just put the work in, you know, just, hey, that was last year. Let's learn from that. And quite honestly, Mark, you watched it. I mean, if we just shoot and make 3 more threes, it's a different ball game. We got great looks, ball just didn't go in. You know, and make no excuses. You know, we were dealt a hard hand, but you know, that's what the season was. It was a weird year with all the protocol stuff. So we, you know, but you know, it was a tough way to, you know, we had just won a great game in the ACC tournament on a big shot, excited about what the future next game looked like, and boom, everything is halted, and so it was tough. But we bounced like we did previously. We bounced back. We're going to bounce back. We're going to put that in the rear view and draw from it when need be, but we'll move forward.
What is the mood after practice now, and what are the expectations of this team?
I mean, every year the expectations, quite honestly, are the same. Be as best we can be. You know, we break it down, non-conference, ACC, and then try to get to the postseason. We can get to the postseason, anything can happen. So, you know, we're working towards being a solid team that is it's all cliche-ish, but get good shots, take care of the ball, play good defense. You know, we can do those things. And that's what we're trying to build, just every day in the dirt, building solid defensive fundamentals and getting everybody on the same page defensively, and then, you know, just working our offense the best way we can, getting good shots, taking care of the basketball. And that's what preseason's been about. I'm just instilling that mindset in these guys. And it's just an everyday thing. But as far as expectations for the year, I don't think that ever changes, you know, where we currently stand as a program. We want to compete with the best in our league and have a chance at postseason. But it's one game at a time.
2 games this week. Tomorrow night, Navy. Friday night, Radford. Do you sense that the team is excited about tomorrow night, especially after, like, last year? You said it was like a weird year. You know, fans in the stands.
Yeah. I think so. I think they're excited. You know, for a lot of these dudes, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. They're gonna get more playing time than they could ever have imagined. They're gonna have a chance. Like I said, at some point we're gonna rely on all 10. But they're excited. I mean, not only having 250 people in the arena last year, I mean, whatever that number was, for us, JPJ is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
When it gets loud. You know, where else in the country do they count down for shot clock violation? I mean, you know, we missed that. And I think defensively, we're going to draw on that, you know, because they understand what we're about. So that'll help. You know, the students being there, the band, the atmosphere. I know Gardner's looking forward to it. I mean, he's talked about it. You know, as a child, all he wanted to do was play in the ACC. Well, he gets to fulfill that dream. So, you know, he's excited. I think the guys are, I think they're all excited. But I think there's some guys that are a little nervous as well. And that's a good thing.
How could you not be, especially if you're a first year player, whether you're a transfer or a first year student coming to play in JPJ with, what is it, 14,000 fans?
14-5.
In that beautiful, most gorgeous arena I think I've been to, maybe with the exception of Louisville, right? Which is like our home away from home anyway, right? With the big success we had there. It's got to be like the biggest thrill of someone's life.
No,
I remember my first time walking in there, I was like, I walked in there with you,
Yeah.
with Ty.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to Stanford before we went to UVA. And I walked in there, I'm like, I'm done. Where do I sign? Right.
No, I think they're excited. I'm excited. It's a new year, new group. It's a great group of kids. They're giving us everything. They're working hard. We're excited.
Got another question from the audience from Randy Allen. How do Igor and Tane look?
They look good. They look like first years at times, which is expected, but they're working. They look good. You know, they're different positions. One's more of a stretch four, the other's kind of a wing. Tane, I describe him as a poor man's Joe Harris. He's not quite the shooter Joe was, but he's as tough and competitive as Joe ever was. You know, that's that rugby background that he's got. And then Igor is a 6'10" stretch four, can really shoot it, stretch the floor. You know, but they both are working defensively. I think it's an adjustment for those guys. And any kid, but you know, foreign kids in particular, coming over, having to adjust culturally to the academic rigors, all of that. Those guys have been good, but it's a lot. We're throwing a lot at them. And there are days where they look really good, and then there's days where you can see the wheels are spinning up here, and they're just trying to hold on for dear life. But they look like most first years, but they both will have their opportunity.
You beat me to it. I was just going to ask them how they're adjusting defensively. And I know that's always a challenge.
Yeah, very much so. The 3-line closeout drill. Just ask Ty and those guys about that drill.
We talked about it last year. I remember a conversation we had, who was the best at it defensively in the closing out. So on the roster this year, there are 3 non-US players. Is that accurate?
No, there's
Tane, Cody, Igor, Poppy,
Tane, Igor.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is, you guys spend a lot of time recruiting guys overseas. Is there a reason for that? If you look at most rosters, I don't know if everybody averages 3 to 4 guys overseas every year.
Yeah, you know, we'll go wherever the talent is, and a lot of times they're just, we've got to end. There's a hook to a kid from abroad, be it Tony's relationship or someone on staff having known someone or been overseas and tell us about a kid. So, you know, I just think we've been fortunate to be able to find guys because of those relationships. I mean, Gonzaga's made a living off of kids from abroad, and there's talent, and you know, we're a little different. You know, we're not going to get the McDonald's All-American all the time, but sometimes you find a kid that's just excited about the opportunity, you know, wants a good academic situation, and wants to play in the best conference in the country as far as basketball goes. So those kids come over and they're very appreciative and they work their butts off. I mean, Jack Salt, Mamadi, you name it.
You mentioned Gonzaga, and I just thought about it. I was like, what is Mark Few doing? And I know that there could be insert tons of jokes right here, right? What is he doing to recruit some of the best players he's getting overseas and in this country. He's got the #1 player, right? He's got Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Chet's pretty good. You know, they've had a ton of success. You know, they obviously they got an in overseas, and I don't know exactly what that in is. It's got to be one of the assistants or somebody on that staff that has either was overseas, played over there. They know, I mean, they must know every agent in Europe, but they're getting players like crazy. But they do a good job. I mean, they've been very consistent over the years in doing that. And so I guess kids want to go there, but you know, we've had our fair share of good players from here and abroad.
Yeah, no question. All right, Navy tomorrow night. What do we got for a brief scouting report on Navy?
Yeah, they got a ton of experience. I mean, they got guys. We played them 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, before COVID, and they've got a ton of seniors. They're a veteran group, so I don't expect them to come in here and be overwhelmed or in awe of us. You know, we're going to have to come out and play. You know, they're going to be tough. They played us a lot of zones, so I hope, you know, we can bang some shots. We're going to have to make some shots from 3 if they do. You know, if they drop in that zone. But again, tough-minded veteran group. You know, not going to be afraid, not going to back down. They're going to give us everything. And those kids, I've got experience against that in being at American, when I was at American in that league. Those Navy and Army teams were always that way. I mean, those kids are just cut from a different cloth. You know, they play hard, they execute their stuff. But anytime you got an experienced group, they've got like 4 or 5 seniors that are all playing. So they were 15-3, if I'm not mistaken, last year in the COVID year in that league. So they're good. We're gonna have to come to play.
And who's looking ahead, which I don't like to do, and I'm sure you don't like to do, to another team, but just quickly, because we won't see you again until next week. Who's got the Radford scouting report?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's Brad or Kyle. I don't have it. I have not thought about Radford. It's game 1.
I get it.
Prepping for Navy. So I don't know a whole lot about Radford right now, to be honest.
All right, we'll talk about them next week.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about defense, which we will always spend time on. What are we going to see offensively this year? You know I'm going to ask you. Are we seeing the blocker mover? Are we seeing something else? Are we seeing some new?
What do I always tell you? We're going to stick to what we do. Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of old, new, very old. So that's all I can tell you.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing the new.
Yeah, but we got different personnel. So, you know, we got to play to their strengths. Guys got to execute. But you'll see, I mean, we won't look much different than we have over the years. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
No question. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to let you get to your Steelers game.
It's still
score.
Yeah. I'm good.
Say it again.
7-0 Pittsburgh, into the first.
Okay. Before I let you go, once again, I want a big thanks to Reines Rogers. Right?
Absolutely.
And I won't let Kwame know when I talk to her that you're getting something from there. We'll make it a surprise.
I can't keep anything from her because I've got to put it on the credit card, and she sees every transaction that happens. So
you don't have to pay by credit card.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why?
Or how? I mean, she don't give me cash. Listen, everything she sees. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait.
We'll leave it at that. All right.
Okay. Do you have to ask for permission to go hang out with friends?
Yes.
Okay.
I get I get a debit card that she just every month there's a little bit on there, and I ask, hey, it might be getting a little low, but that's about it.
Does she tell you what she wants for Christmas?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let her know that Reines and Rogers is supporting us, so we should
Will
go
do.
support them.
I will, for sure.
All right. All right. Good luck tomorrow night. Good luck tonight with the Steelers.
Thank you.
More importantly, good luck tonight with UVA.
Thank you.
And
Thank
good luck Friday, because I won't talk to you in between. And hopefully we'll see you on the show next week, 2-0.
you. I hope so. Knock on wood.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Appreciate you.
Looking
boy.
forward to it. So excited about the upcoming season. I look forward. I'll talk to you soon, big time.
All right.
All right. Take care. Good night.